watching. You are watching.
You're watching. You guys are watching.
You're watching.
Soulful discussion.
So hi, how you doing today?
Good, and you?
Doing great. And how did our paths just cross right now? How did we just meet?
I was here on my lunch break, and you just came and asked me if you can have
Absolutely. Interview,
questions.
right?
Interview.
Yeah. And you were just up here on this perch up here right above the lake.
Yeah.
Just meditating or?
Yeah, just getting some air, fresh air.
Getting some good energy?
I love this place. It's so.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful park, right?
Yeah.
Have you been all the way up to the top where the like little Japanese little?
Yeah, I've been to the Japanese, to the little river.
Yeah, really nice, right? So I approached you about what? What's the interview about? What are we going to talk about today? Do you remember?
Mental health. Yeah, meditation.
Oh, it was with mental health, his feet, and reflexology.
Okay.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And in terms of mental health, are there any topics that you research or follow closely? Anything you're familiar with?
Yeah. Well, I'm a mental health
Really?
specialist.
Cool. So maybe the topic that I'm going to discuss today you might be familiar with.
Yeah.
What about reflexology?
Well, yeah, it's the same thing. When you do mental health and therapy, you reflect on whatever is going on in your life.
Okay, so the reflexology I'm going to discuss with you today, hopefully some new information for you, okay?
Okay.
All right, so let's get into these questions. What's something you like that other people might find to be weird? And I'm using the term weird for a reason. It could just be a hobby you have that other people might find strange.
Yeah, I think yoga is still very, not a lot of people know about it, especially people of color.
Yeah, exactly. So that might be something that people look at.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever made you feel insecure about your body or a body part before?
I think social media is a big part of making everybody feel some type of way.
Yeah.
Perfection is unrealistic,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just bad for everybody's mental health, especially the kids.
Absolutely. So in terms of that, like, if you've ever dealt with it before, how did you overcome it? What type of steps did you take? Just for like the people watching, something that might be helpful for them.
I think that my background,
Okay.
my Mexican background, was very important for me,
Okay.
and just the acceptance of where did I come from, because we're here in the United States, and it's like a melted pot. So everybody, we have black, Asian, from everybody, everywhere, right?
Every type of ethnicity.
And just accepting the fact that I was Mexican and embracing my background, I think that made me more proud of who I was, and embracing me as unique.
Exactly.
Because we were all unique in our own ways. There's only one of you.
Exactly.
I know there's people that say you have a twin somewhere.
Yeah, a doppelganger. We don't know if that's true, but maybe.
Sometimes
yeah.
it is. Some people do come across that.
Yeah.
But that's what I ground everybody to. Your
Absolutely.
uniqueness, your own personality is unique.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. If there was one thing you could change about yourself, and it doesn't have to be physical, what would it be? What would you change?
I think that, more better decision making.
Okay.
Yes. I think taking more into consideration when making decisions, and just sitting on it for a bit and not just rushing into it.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into these questions. How do you feel about your feet? What are your thoughts?
My feet?
Yeah. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, you know what I do when I come to an open space like this? I take out my shoes and I walk on the ground.
Okay.
The connection.
So
with
earth and grounding, right?
Yes.
All right. But in terms of your feet, do you like them? You don't like them?
I like them.
You like them?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Have you ever received any compliments before about your feet?
I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Men, women.
Men, mostly.
Men.
Yeah.
How did those compliments make you feel? What are your thoughts when that happens?
It's a rare one, because
a rare
a
one.
lot of people do not compliment
Yeah.
feet.
Exactly.
And there's only a few. I think I've gotten the thing where, it must be a men thing.
There are women. I interviewed a woman, and she was like seriously in the feet. She literally said that she broke up with this guy, but she was like, I was willing to stay with him just because he had nice feet, and I was like, very interesting. So I mean, it's a man and woman thing too, but it's more common with men. I think that's what you see.
Yeah, I think so.
In terms of compliments you receive from men and women, not just about your feet, but just in general, is there a difference in how you feel about those compliments, or do they feel the same to you?
No, I felt the same. I mean, the rare ones are the ones that were like, oh, where'd that come from? Because you usually like nice smile, or nice skin tone, or nice hair, whatever, whatever it is. Yeah, but just the odd ones that you're okay, that's weird. Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. what would your thoughts be on if you started dating somebody who was into feet? I mean, I don't know if you're married or anything like that, but let's just take you back to square one. You're not. You're dating somebody for new and they're into feet. What would your thoughts be?
I think that I'll probably do more exploration into that area and more inquiring about why the feet.
Why they're into that. Yeah.
And how did it start, you know?
Yeah, and that's because that's the therapist in you, right? That wants to know, like, how did it start for you or whatever like that. That's interesting. I like that. When you first start dating someone, right, when do you think is the appropriate time for you two to talk about the stuff you're into?
I think in the beginning.
In the beginning?
In the beginning, it's like, oh, what are you into?
Icebreakers, right?
Yeah, I think those are icebreakers.
Good. How did you get pedicures?
Since pandemic happened, it's been rare, so I do my own feet. Yeah, cool. I do my own.
Have you ever heard of medical pedicures before?
No.
All right, so a lady I interviewed before, she told me about those. Basically, you go see like a podiatrist. They basically look at your nails and they like make sure that they grow correctly, your toes are aligned properly, like you don't have any type of like dead skin, things like that. They do all the work there.
Really?
Yeah. And so you should go see somebody like that
What's
maybe every 3 podiatrists.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you should go see somebody like that maybe every 3 months or so.
Oh, just to keep up with
the
that?
maintenance, yeah. So, because a lot of people just go get the pedicures and get the paint done and they cut the nails, but sometimes it's not cut correctly, things like that. I've heard people say they got ingrown toenails when they're gone. So, yeah, it's good to go see like a podiatrist. They know exactly how to do it correctly. Yeah. How often do you like wear open-toe shoes, sandals, flip-flops?
All the time.
All the time? Okay. What about how often you go barefoot? You did say every time you come to the park, you're like...
that's my thing.
You're like, grounding and stuff like that.
I walk on the sands or whatever.
I like that.
Grass.
All right, and so can we see what your feet look up close, man?
You're funny.
Let me get you to put them out here.
Oh, no.
And so now the whole point is I'm going to go into the mental health aspect. Can I get you to turn this way? Like, just put your feet, like, right here?
Yeah.
So I could just... All right. And what size do you wear?
9.
Size 9?
Yeah.
Does it vary depending on, like, if you're wearing, like, a sandal or heel or something like that, or is it pretty much the same?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Because I get, like, some women say, like, it's like a half size up, half
Tennis
size
shoes
down.
or boots, you'll do an extra inch, half an inch.
Okay. And so now extend your feet out. Let me see the soles. Like, extend out.
I'm walking up.
All right. So now let me throw in the mental health, okay?
Okay.
So now I started this channel because I was watching another guy's channel during quarantine, and he was talking about DBT.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with that? Dialectical behavioral therapy, right?
Yeah.
So he would talk about like in DBT how they try to get you like to overcome those things you're uncomfortable with, right? Mm-hmm. So like for people who have anxiety and depression, they like fail to like not live in the moment. Therapists want you to go out and put yourself in those uncomfortable situations. So like if you have a fear of approaching strangers, they want you to go out and do it, right? Exposure therapy. Get yourself used to that uncomfortable feeling that comes with it. And when you feel uncomfortable, to do a self-assessment and ask yourself, what's the worst that's going to happen in this situation, right? So when I'm doing my interviews, right, I'm using that same type of like therapy. I have you answer all these questions, and then to test, can you still be comfortable during the interview? Like, yes, I'm a stranger, we're looking at your feet, but is that something you can still be comfortable with, right? So what are your thoughts about that DBT? Because you're a therapist yourself.
It's actually very effective.
Cool.
Because it takes you into the evidence part, right? You get the negative thought, but you don't have no evidence of that.
Exactly.
So unless you try it out and you experience it. But, you know, anxiety is something that a lot of people deal with that. So it just takes a lot of practice for them to
get past it, right? Yeah. Absolutely. And so that's why, like, I'm out doing it. A lot of people I've talked to so far, they say it's been helpful for them just knowing about it, because so many people don't know about it. So some people deal with that, you know, overthinking situations. So to be able to know about DBT and like you said, asking yourself, like, realistically, like what's gonna happen in this situation. So let's talk about the reflexology now. So reflexology deals with the different pressure points we have in our hands and feet, and like these pressure points like correlate back to other parts of our body. So through massage, acupuncture, acupressure, you can actually alleviate like stress and tension throughout your body. I don't know if you deal with migraines or anything like that. There's a section of your foot you can actually massage to like alleviate the tension that you're feeling in your head from that. There's sections for your lungs and just so on and so forth. What are your thoughts on that? Like, how do you feel about
that's true.
Yeah.
It's very true, even in your hands.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, your hands too.
Your body is, you know, the healing is within you. So you just have to explore yourself and be open to it.
Cool. And now with that being said, since we entered this portion, in terms of sensitivity, how ticklish are you on your feet?
Ticklish. So.
If you're gonna say like a scale 1 to 10, are you in the middle?
Probably very ticklish, because that's a rare part of the body where everybody usually tickles under your arm, your stomach. And if that part of your body has not been stimulated before, then it's gonna be ticklish.
Okay. Would you mind if we tested it on camera?
I'm gonna tickle myself?
No, can I tickle you on camera? Just to see? No. Now, is it because you don't feel comfortable? I'm a stranger. Is that?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand that. So let's get to the end of the interview. We're approaching 10 minutes right now. In terms of my approach, when I walked up and I asked you to do the interview, was it a good, a bad approach? What did you think about it?
I think it was a good approach. I mean, there's a lot of people that are very close up and they're like, no.
Yeah.
But I think if you start off like explaining what you're doing and introducing yourself, I think it's a good.
Cool.
Yeah, I think videos and YouTube channels are very essential for especially the new generation.
Yeah, it can be helpful. Right?
They're always looking up to somebody, something.
Yeah.
And I think if you're talking about this is growth within yourself.
Absolutely.
It's giving back.
Absolutely. And that's what I'm doing. Like I said, I got it from somebody else, so I'm like trying to pay it forward. By going out to, and it's not just the people who watch too, it's sometimes the people I interview. Sometimes I'm approaching people and like they may be dealing with something, and by the time they stand up, they're like, oh, that felt good. Like it was like a therapy session, like you said. So in terms of the interview, right from start to finish, could you see how everything was going in the line? Did it make sense to you, and did you learn anything new from the interview?
It makes sense.
Okay.
I think it's very important for you. I think a lot of people don't really put themselves out there to explore themselves and to really learn about themselves. And I think it's a good way to get that audience and put that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a ripple effect.
Absolutely. Now, the last thing I ask, in terms of the mental health aspect, right? Maybe a life lesson you learned or some wise words of wisdom you can share with my channel that could be helpful to them?
I think that, a lot of times we focus on the negativity in our lives, but it's important that we just wake up being grateful for what we have. Food, the essentials, We're caught up in so much extra stuff that we don't need. But if we are grateful for the little things that we have, I think that will make us happier every day.
Nice. Well, thank you so much. I know you got to get back to work. Thank you for taking the time to do the interview with me, and we hope you have a great one, okay?
Okay.